With season 2 starting just around the corner, I finally decided to build up the nerve, sit down, and binge watch this show. Based off of the popular film franchise of the same name, in season 1 of Scream, we see a viral video from YouTube humiliating a girl, and shortly after, the person who posted said video is brutally murdered by a killer wearing a mask. Now a group of teenagers are being killed off one by one by this same killer, and now not only are these recent murders probably connected, but they might also be connected to some murders that have happened in the past. Now I'll admit, going into this, I wasn't looking forward to this show. I'm a big fan of the film franchise, and making a TV show, especially on MTV, sounded like a bad idea. It just sounded like they were going to water this down and make it all fluff. And now, having seen the entire first season, I can say this. I have mixed feelings on this show. For basically everything that I liked, there was about a handful of dislikes that I had with it. Now, let's start off with the things that I liked about the show. Honestly, the mystery element I thought was really well done. This is a classic case of whodunit type of mystery. You know, trying to figure out the clues and trying to unravel the mystery of who the killer is. I thought they did a pretty good job with that, and I honestly had no idea who the killer was. So that element alone, I believe, is the main reason why I kept coming back for more episodes. Also, for a horror TV show, I think they did a pretty good job with the horror elements. Yes, at times you do feel they're restricted and they're watering it down, but there is still some pretty good blood and gore. There are some pretty good murders and kills in this show. They are a little too far in between, so I hope they amp that up in season 2, but there are some pretty cool deaths. One in particular with a type of equipment that I just absolutely loved. Also, the show is pretty entertaining. It might get a little hokey and corny and cheesy, but it never really bored me to death. Now, in terms of problems, one of the biggest problems is this movie falls victim to wanting to have its cake and eat it too. You know, it definitely does the whole Scream routine of being cheeky, in your face, calling out every cliche and every trope in horror, but yet it still does those same tropes, and it doesn't feel creative or inventive. It just feels like they wrote this in an hour. Honestly, this show is at its strongest when it just focuses on what made Scream, Scream. Calling out all the horror tropes, all the murders, finding out who done it. That's when this show is at its strongest. When it adds all these little subplots and love triangles and this subplot with blackmailing, honestly, it comes off extremely crowded and unnecessary, and honestly, they all are just really boring at the end of the day. Also, this show is jam-packed with way too many characters. I was honestly hoping we were going to get more deaths than we actually got, because at the end of it all, we still have too many characters lingering around. Characters would be gone for an episode or two, and when they come back, I'd forget that, you know, they hadn't been killed and that they were on the show, because there's just too many characters. Overall, season 1 of Scream is certainly entertaining, but feels like a bit of a mixed bag and a little bit watered down, and also suffers from wanting to have its cake and yet eat it too. As the score goes, I'm going to give season 1 of Scream a 2.5 out of 5. So you guys, were you looking forward to the TV show Scream? Are you looking forward to season 2? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. And until next time, you guys, I'm Slash Movier, and you guys have just been Slash.